I think it's worth exploring if electricity is cheap where you're at, or you're able to some type of way harness green energy. Because some of these altcoins, you're right. Sometimes it's better just to buy the coin than to buy all the mining equipment, because you can make more return that way. But I think if you were able to pick the right coin and get the right mining equipment, there is still some opportunity. But you're right, it's pretty much all gone away. But Frank, my boy Chase just came up with another question. He asked, curious on your thoughts on ESG. If y'all don't know what that is, that's environmental social governance. That's, essentially how they grade publicly traded companies. And DEI, I can't for the life of me think of what DEI is, but what do you think of that, Frank?
I think that they're beautiful concepts. I know in the gold mining, it's been a practicing ESG for a long time. If you look in communities in Mexico where Canadian companies and U.S. investors go into Canadian silver mining companies in Mexico, what they do in that local community is unbelievable. And they fly back to Vancouver or to Toronto, but they go back to this other life. They do everything to improve that lifestyle. I've always invested and given money into charities in Latin America and Africa, wherever we have investments, etc. So that idea of the ESG is just good practices, but trying to force it and use it as a political agenda, I think that there's not enough supporting data. And I think that the World Economic Forum tries to find, or other NGOs, those acronyms to all of a sudden try to regulate those investment decisions. It's very different than pollution. Pollution is pollution, like you just mentioned about the refineries, et cetera, that you have to focus on what do we do to clean up the pollution. And ESG became too much of a political football, and it really got pushed by Norwegians that have $1 trillion sovereign fund with less people than the city of Houston. And we look at the amount of money per capita, and they start basically projecting the rest of the world should be this way. They tell BlackRock you can't get any more money from us unless you basically use ESG. They try to force that agenda. What's interesting is that it's sort of a pushback against the ESG, and it's not really a key factor now by the big pools of capital. But I do think, Hive has been really conscientious in being green only, giving back to the communities that we're in, educating people in the community. We sponsor in Bowdoin, it's like in Texas football, but in Bowdoin it's hockey. And there's 3 players there who made the NHL, and 2 of them won 2 Stanley Cups. So everything in that little community is hockey. So we sponsor 12 kids teams and the arena, so that therefore they can have money for other things in their community. I think that that's just good business. In San Antonio and other places that you give back money to your community.